is this?
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
I'm Michael Jackson.
The Michael Jackson? Pfft, no way.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for TV episodes that were too controversial to air. Spoilers will be mentioned, so this is your official warning.
What's with all these flags? No. It's the Puerto Rican Day Parade!
Number 30, Dad Baby, Bluey. It may be one of the most well-known and beloved shows by kids and parents alike, but even that doesn't make it immune from censorship. The program tackled the hardships of pregnancy in a humorous way in Dad Baby.
You're pregnant with baby Bingo, so you have to act pregnant.
Okay, if we're gonna do this, let's do it properly.
In the episode, Bluey's father, Bandit, tries his hand at simulating pregnancy, complete with a fake belly. The concept was silly and harmless enough, with some playful jokes about the discomforts that occurred during pregnancy. However, the experiment was capped off with the fictional father figure pretending to give birth. While nothing graphic was shown, the simulated contractions seemingly proved to be too much. It never made it to Disney services and was only finally released to their YouTube channel in May of 2024.
Hooray! Hooray!
Number 29, Man's Best Friend, The Ren and Stimpy Show. You never know what straw will break the camel's back. Known for its shock value and casual violence, The Ren and Stimpy Show was a staple of 1990s television.
Look at the cute little rascals. Yes, sir, a man needs to share his love. You know, a man needs the companionship of lower life forms.
Despite its reputation, one episode went so far that it didn't make it to air until Spike TV's inception in 2003. In Man's Best Friend, the titular characters are adopted by a human and vigorously trained into becoming obedient pets. There were plenty of adult references throughout, from jokes about bodily fluids to cigars being handed out as treats. There was even a sequence where Stimpy viciously beats their owner with an oar.
You mustn't! He is our master! Shut up! You're next, Mr. Doggy Treat!
The moment was so intense that Nickelodeon refused to play it, and even went so far as to fire the show's creator. Number 28, the one with the lesbian wedding, Friends. Instances like this make it clear just how much progress society has made in a relatively short time. When Friends was first premiering in the 1990s, marriage equality was hardly being discussed.
We're getting married.
As in, I now pronounce you wife and wife, Mary?
Anyway, we'd like you to come, but we totally understand if you don't want to.
So when the sitcom made the bold decision to depict a wedding between a lesbian couple, viewers across the nation were shocked. Despite the wholesome storyline and not showing any physical contact between the couple, two TV affiliates in Texas and Ohio refused to air it at all, inciting protests in response.
Friends, family, we're gathered here today to join Carol and Susan in holy matrimony.
Oh my God. Now I've seen everything.
Despite the local bannings, the network themselves only received a few calls complaining about it, and it was the highest rated program that week, showing that the episode overall had a primarily positive impact. Number 27, The Hunger Strike, The Boondocks. One of the most well-known types of comedy is parody, but that doesn't always mean the subject of such jokes always appreciates them. The Boondocks was beloved for tackling controversial topics through satire.
Our leader, Bob Johnson, had a dream of creating a network that would accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't.
They went after everybody, including one of the show's executive producers in the Season 2 installment, The Hunger Strike. Both the president and CEO of BET were lambasted and accused of exploiting their community. The parodies were scathing and hit so hard that it only premiered in Canada in 2008 with a disclaimer. In the United States, however, it was only available via DVD until it finally premiered on Adult Swim in 2020.
Of course it was a setup. I believe the release of this video was engineered by BET themselves, working in conjunction with the Republican Party and the FBI.
While executives have never confirmed their reasons for doing so, many fans are convinced the imitation played into their decision. Number 26, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Community. The debate behind this decision is still being had by fans to this day. Following protests in 2020, some streaming services responded to concerns people had regarding blackface in the programming.
At the end of the meeting, they realized that Chang had been there and felt too awkward to mention it.
This resulted in several episodes from various shows being removed, including Community's Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. In one scene, Chang depicted a dark elf by painting his face black, and the eventual removal sparked debate in several circles.
So we're just going to ignore that hate crime?
Some fans and cast members questioned the final decision, citing the context in which the act was done and defending the joke. However, series creator Dan Harmon ended up agreeing with the contentious final decision, even if it was at the cost of what he thought was one of the series' most iconic storylines. Number 25, episode 847, Sesame Street. This is probably one of the last shows you expected to see, and its inclusion is one of the most unfair. In 1976, Sesame Street featured Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz.
From the looks of it, I know I'm not in Oz anymore. I must be over the rainbow somewhere. Well, the sooner I can get out of here, the better I like it.
It depicted the villain creating violence upon arrival, from making it rain indoors to threatening beloved characters. It even ended in a dark manner, with one of the characters sobbing in fear as the witch reveals the episode's sponsors. Countless parents wrote in after the fact, reporting that their children were so horrified that they wanted to stop watching the show entirely.
You know something? You have got to be the most beautiful person I have ever seen.
Oh, keep still.
Wow, I think I'm in love.
Really?
After focus testing to review the claims, the program was pulled and shelved until 2019, over 40 years later. Number 24, America's Next Top Patties Billboard Model Contest. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Sometimes doing something later is better than doing nothing at all.
I don't want to be on your billboard, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to take one of my characters, and I'm going to launch a viral video and promote patties, myself.
Known for its unapologetic sense of humor, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has never been afraid of crossing whatever boundaries needed to show how awful the characters are. However, even they can take it too far, and nothing exemplifies this better than America's Next Top Patties Billboard Model Contest. In it, Dee and Charlie attempt to promote the bar, but the former's increasingly offensive characters make it difficult for them.
You that girl, pathetic girl 43.
Pathetic girl?
I almost didn't recognize you in that getup, but I recognize that whiny voice anyway.
While she's called out numerous times throughout, the concept was pushed to the limit when she donned blackface to play Martina Martinez. Although their intentions to call out racism were good, it aged poorly, leading to it being removed from streaming platforms in 2020. Number 23, Earshot, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. For many, entertainment is a way to escape their day-to-day lives. This includes not wanting to be reminded of societal ills, especially those that resulted in multiple deaths.
This time tomorrow, I'll kill you all.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer was no stranger to fantastical violence, but a reference to a real-life crime took things too far. In Earshot, Buffy was tasked with finding the person who wanted to attack her schools.
What are you talking about?
Actions having consequences, stuff like that.
I wouldn't ever hurt anybody.
In the wake of the Columbine tragedy, the network decided the plot was simply too dark and too real, leaving them scrambling to postpone it. It ended up not being released for several months, and when it did, it eventually went on to be considered one of the series' best. Number 22, Comedians, Beavis and Butthead. Entertainment has always been a convenient scapegoat for larger issues, especially when it's controversial. In Comedians, the titular characters on Beavis and Butthead decided to attempt stand-up comedy.
What's green and red and goes 100 miles an hour? A frog in a blender. Get it?
After bombing their set, Beavis tries juggling flaming newspapers in the empty club, resulting in the club also catching fire. A month after airing, a young boy reportedly set his trailer on fire, killing his younger sister in the process. His mother claimed he'd been inspired by the cartoon, even though it was later reported that she didn't even have cable.
We should be on TV. How come that club owner dude didn't like us?
Maybe he's stupid.
Yeah. Not everybody can be cool like us.
Despite the lack of proof, it was still pulled, and the show was bumped to a later time slot and even prohibited from talking about fire. Number 21, Bored She Hung Herself, Hawaii Five-0. The title alone makes it obvious why this was doomed from the very start. Despite being a police drama, Hawaii Five-0 is still relatively family-friendly, save for this now-banned episode. In it, the team investigated a case wherein a woman had supposedly taken her own life while trying a new yoga technique. Although there were no issues leading up to the broadcast, things soon took a horrific turn when it was reported that a viewer had apparently tried a similar method and died, resulting in a lawsuit from their family. In response, Bored She Hung Herself was swiftly pulled from syndication. It has also never been included in any DVD sets or streaming services, essentially wiping it from the show's history. Number 20, See Me, Feel Me, Know Me, The Powerpuff Girls. When you think of band TV, you probably don't think of cartoons made for little kids. Alas, one episode of The Powerpuff Girls was banned in the United States for religious imagery.
This is the best day of my life today.
The episode features a destroyed building, and executives at Cartoon Network believed that the exposed beams looked too much like crosses. There's also a hippie character that they felt resembled Jesus. These inclusions had the Cartoon Network sweating, and they banned the episode from release.
When I feel the sun, my eyes open wide, my troubles are gone.
However, it was aired in many other countries and now appears on streaming and the DVD. Number 19, The High Ground, Star Trek: The Next Generation. From the late 1960s to 1998, Ireland was embroiled in the Troubles, a violent conflict over whether Northern Ireland should remain part of the UK or unify with the Republic of Ireland.
Sir, I'm finding it difficult to understand many aspects of Ansata conduct. Much of their behavioral norm would be defined by my program as unnecessary and unacceptable.
Fighting for the latter option was the IRA, a paramilitary group designated as a terrorist organization in the UK. In the 1990 Star Trek episode The High Ground, Data notes that the IRA's terrorist activities worked and that Ireland was unified in the year 2024.
Yet there are numerous examples when it was successful. The independence of the Mexican state from Spain, the Irish unification of 2024, and the Kenzie Rebellion.
Because the episode depicted a united Ireland attained through terrorism, the episode was initially banned in both the UK and Ireland.
Then would it be accurate to say that terrorism is acceptable when all options for peaceful settlement have been foreclosed?
Number 18, Insane in the Membrane, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In 2003, a reboot of the famous Turtle brand began airing on Fox. However, one episode proved too violent for the family-friendly programming block, and that episode was Season 4's Insane in the Membrane. Scheduled for release on March 4, 2006, the episode was pulled in the US due to its graphic content. Series producer Lloyd Goldfine blames the ban on a roster change within Fox. According to him, every step of the episode's production was approved by the network, but new personnel were horrified.
This experiment is a catastrophe!
It was cut from rotation and wasn't aired in the US until 2015. Number 17, Unstoppable, Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Produced in early 2016, this episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit might never see the light of day.
I'm a handsome, charming millionaire. Women throw themselves at me.
Even though a promo was aired, the episode was pulled before it aired. It was reportedly inspired by a real case, a woman's accusation that when she was very young, Donald Trump assaulted her at one of Jeffrey Epstein's notorious parties.
He really needs a new script, but he's not going to change, and he's gotten away with it.
Trump and Epstein were friends and partied together throughout the 1990s, until falling out over real estate in 2004. While the woman's lawsuit was withdrawn, about 24 other women subsequently accused Trump of sexual misconduct. When Trump was elected president in November, Unstoppable was shelved.
Right now, a historic moment. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Donald Trump wins the presidency.
Number 16, The Great McGrady, Arthur. Cancer is a difficult subject for anyone to discuss, let alone children.
Unfortunately, my body is also making a few weeds. Right now, my body's trying hard to get rid of those weeds. And it takes a lot of work.
In the Arthur episode, The Great McGrady, everyone reacts differently upon learning that Mrs. McGrady has cancer. But it doesn't seem to have been the subject matter that got the episode banned. It was apparently the presence of Lance Armstrong. Francine gets in touch with Armstrong, knowing that he survived cancer.
You don't seem like someone who's had cancer.
Why is that?
I don't know. You're so healthy.
He's depicted as a heroic figure, but his reputation was tarnished in real life following the infamous doping scandal. Reruns of his episode were pulled from rotation in the US, and it was removed from the iTunes store and Amazon. It was later revised to remove Armstrong. Number 15, Conflict, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yep, even Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood had some banned episodes. In November of 1983, the show aired 5 episodes about conflict, which contained several references to war.
I'm glad I didn't live there.
I am too. I wouldn't like to live where they're having a war.
We've never had a war here in Make-Believe, have we?
Prince Tuesday is taught about war in school, and King Friday starts to suspect that Corny's factory is manufacturing bomb parts.
Well, Uncle Friday,
They're not building bombs in Southwood.
They're not?
I'm so relieved.
Well, wait a minute. What are they using those million parts for?
The Cold War was obviously on everybody's mind, and a particularly brutal film called The Day After was aired shortly after this string of episodes. Owing to its difficult subject matter, the episodes were permanently pulled in 1996 and are still unavailable to this day. Number 14, I'll See You in Court, Married with Children. In this episode of the iconic sitcom, the Bundys travel to a motel to spice up their love life.
Al, I'm serious. I want sex.
Hey, how long have we been married? 40, 50 years? Do we not have 2 children?
Well, yeah.
Then my job is done.
The suggestion comes from Marcy Rhodes, who slept with her husband at the same motel. While there, the Bundys find a videotape of the Rhodes couple getting intimate.
That guy looks a little like Stephen Marcy!
Together, the couples attempt to sue the motel for voyeurism. Before the episode aired, the censors at Fox demanded cuts, but deemed even the censored version too problematic, and pulled it from release in the US.
Steve, I feel so violated.
Oh, gee, guys, if we had known you didn't know you were being taped, we never would have brought you over here and sprung this on you. I feel terrible.
It finally aired in 2002, 5 years after the show ended, but even that airing was censored. Number 13, Buffalo Gals, Cow and Chicken.
Excuse me, sir, but who are you guys?
We're the Buffalo Gals!
This surreal animated comedy show offended the censors with sexual innuendo that was a little too on the nose.
A motorcycle riding gang that randomly bursts into people's homes and chews on their carpets.
In this season 2 episode, a group of female bikers known as the Buffalo Gals break into Cow and Chicken's house. Inside, they begin to chew the carpet. One of the bikers is even called Munch Kelly. The innuendo is pretty obvious and got the show in trouble. While it did air as scheduled on June 27, 1998, it was replaced in reruns with the episode Orthodontic Police. Number 12, Promises, Promises, Boy Meets World. This popular 90s show deals with all sorts of teenage problems and milestones, including the first time having sex. In the 5th season episode Promises, Promises, Corey and Topanga decide to sleep together after prom.
What do you think, we sat down and discussed it? How dorky do you think we are? What about you and Topanga?
We sat down and discussed it.
Following its initial run on ABC, Boy Meets World was picked up by the Disney Channel for reruns. However, due to its sexual content, Promises, Promises was one of 3 episodes that the Disney Channel banned.
Listen, you don't have to be confused, okay? Well, we're adults now, and adults do not get confused.
You're right, we're adults.
The other 2 are The Truth About Honesty, also due to sexual content, and If You Can't Be With the One You Love, which involves teen drinking. Number 11, Hannibal. This psychological thriller horror series features a lot of grotesque imagery, but it was the way the ideas behind the episode intersected with recent events that proved most troubling. The episode sees a group of foster children brainwashed by a mysterious woman into killing their biological families.
Whoever this woman is, she wants these children to burst with love for her. But she has to erase their family to do that.
So she abducts them, convinces them no one can love them as much as she does, and then makes damn sure of it.
It was scheduled to air in April of 2013, but creator Brian Fuller personally pulled it from the United States broadcast schedule at the last minute. He cited the associations that came with the subject matter and wished to be respectful of the social climate.
Our friend Will seems haunted today.
We don't know what nightmares lie coiled beneath Will's pillow.
Children killing other children is not that unfamiliar a notion to Will.
It's believed this was in light of the tragic events at Sandy Hook Elementary School in December 2012. Number 10, Midlife Crustation, SpongeBob SquarePants. While ostensibly for children, SpongeBob SquarePants makes many mature jokes and is enjoyed by adults the world over. The 3rd season episode Midlife Crustation embraces this and has been repeatedly called out for it.
Panty raid? You're talking about girls, right? Girls? Yeah. And you're talking about raiding their dressers for their underpants, right? Oh, yeah.
The episode depicts a so-called panty raid, which sees Patrick, SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs raiding a woman's house and stealing her underwear. The episode was originally supposed to air in November of 2002, but was canceled by Nickelodeon.
We hit the jackpot!
Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs!
You finally came through for me, boys! I feel young again!
While it was later shown on the network, future reruns have again excluded it. It's also missing from the streaming networks Paramount Plus and Prime Video. Number 9. Partial Terms of Endearment, Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane's animated sitcom is certainly no stranger to controversy, but the 8th season episode Partial Terms of Endearment really pushed things. In this episode, Lois becomes a surrogate mother for an old friend.
I've given this long and careful thought, and I've decided to carry Naomi and Dale's child for them.
You what?
However, the friend and her husband are killed in a car accident, prompting Lois and Peter to consider abortion. The episode's difficult subject matter concerned Fox, who thought it would get them in trouble with advertisers.
So how's it work, Doc? You strap her down and then go hacking at her like Sweeney Todd?
No, good Lord, this is not 2005. We've come a long way since then.
This prompted them to pull the episode from rotation in the US. Adult Swim also refused to air the episode, conceding to Fox's demands. It was later made available on the Season 8 DVD, but it's currently absent from Disney+. Number 8. The Encounter, The Twilight Zone. This historic show from Rod Serling often used science fiction and metaphors to comment on real issues. Of course, not every episode dealt with otherworldly elements. The Encounter is a drama centered around an American World War II veteran and a Japanese-American man named Arthur.
It's 20-odd years since Pearl Harbor, but two ancient opponents are moving into position for a battle in an attic.
In the veteran's attic, they have a hostile conversation stemming from their respective experiences in the war. Arthur's father was a spy who worked construction at Pearl Harbor and betrayed the Americans.
He was a traitor. He signaled the planes. He showed them where to drop the bombs. He was a traitor.
This reveal offended Japanese-American viewers, and the resulting complaints resulted in the episode being pulled from syndication. It didn't appear on television again until 2004, a full 40 years after its original airing. Number 7. Elephant Issues, Tiny Toon Adventures. This episode of Tiny Toon Adventures contains a segment called One Beer, in which Buster, Plucky, and Hampton get drunk. In their intoxicated revelry, the trio steal a police car and drive it off a cliff to their deaths. The episode then ends on a clever bit of meta-humor, with Buster commenting on the dark nature of the storyline by asking, "Do we get to do a funny episode tomorrow?"
I hope the kids got the message. Yeah, drinking's uncool. So do we get to do a funny episode tomorrow? I hope so.
Fox Kids banned the episode over its mature content. Turns out they didn't like the protagonists drinking, going for a joyride in a stolen police cruiser, and dying. Who'd have thunk? The episode remained banned for the next 22 years before it finally resurfaced on the Hub network in 2013. Number 6. Home, The X-Files. Long regarded as one of the best X-Files episodes, Home is also the most controversial. It sees Mulder and Scully travel to the titular Pennsylvania town to investigate a deformed incestuous family.
The way I think it goes here is that Edmund is the brother and father of the other two.
Which means that when Edmund was a kid, he could ground the other two for playing with his things?
The episode is a stew of horrific content featuring a disturbing story and graphic violence, and became the first of the series to receive a TVMA rating. Following its initial airing, the episode was banned by Fox for reruns. They also prevented the Peacock family from returning in a later episode, as was planned by writers Glenn Morgan and James Wong.
Hey, Sheriff, who lives in that house there?
Number 5. Stark Raving Dad, The Simpsons. This cartoon has found itself in hot water on several occasions. In 2002, Rio officials considered suing Fox for the episode Blame It on Lisa, on the grounds that it presented a negative and inaccurate portrayal of the city.
Taxi!
My American friend, I'm afraid that this is a kidnapping.
More recently in 2019, the 1991 episode Stark Raving Dad also ran into trouble. Homer befriends a man named Leon Kompowski who believes he's Michael Jackson. Jackson voiced Leon himself.
I can't believe you never heard of me. I'm a very popular entertainer.
Well, of course I've heard of you. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock not to know. What'd you say your name was?
But after the series showrunners saw the documentary Leaving Neverland, they were so disturbed by allegations against Jackson that they pulled the episode from circulation. It's also missing from Disney Plus and modern reprints of the Season 3 DVD. Number 4. Electric Soldier Porygon, Pokémon. Electric Soldier Porygon nearly destroyed Pokémon forever. In this episode, Ash and his friends enter a computer system and Pikachu hits the antivirus program with a thunderbolt, resulting in a massive explosion. This explosion was depicted with strobing blue and red lights. Not a good idea. It resulted in what is known as the Pokémon shock, which sent 685 Japanese children to hospital, with some suffering seizures and blindness. The episode currently holds the bizarre world record for most photosensitive epileptic seizures caused by a television show.
Joey-san, 俺のピカチュウ、お願いします。はい、お預かりします。
The resulting controversy caused Nintendo stock to plunge, and they demanded that the episode never be repeated on television, and it never has. Number 3. Heha Heha, Fear Factor. This stunt show hosted by Joe Rogan was notable both for its danger and gross factor. Each episode featured the contestants doing something daring, whether it was dangling off a helicopter or eating the private parts of an animal. But even for Fear Factor, the episode Heha Heha was just too much. Scheduled to air in January of 2012, the episode featured contestants drinking various fluids from a donkey.
Good job, guys.
What was that like?
It was just like consistency of it and like the taste. I was not expecting it. It was like
Like someone's been eating a lot of hay?
like someone's been eating a hell of a lot of hay.
NBC let them get away with a lot, but not with this. The network decided to pull the episode, and it has remained unaired ever since.
Yes, you can puke now. You girls are awesome. You girls are monsters. Even that guy over there is impressed with you.
However, footage of the stunt has been uploaded to YouTube, so those daring enough can still check it out. Number 2. The Puerto Rican Day, Seinfeld. For a while, this was the lost episode of Seinfeld. Airing on May 7th, 1998, just 1 week before the big finale, this one sees the gang getting stuck in traffic during the Puerto Rican Day parade.
The streets are all blocked. I think every Puerto Rican in the world is out here.
Well, it is our day.
Ooh, wrong car. Sorry.
Kramer accidentally sets the Puerto Rican flag on fire and stomps on it in a panic. After he's chased by a mob, he remarks that,
You know, it's like this every day in Puerto Rico.
The result was a flood of angry letters and protests outside NBC headquarters. NBC apologized and the episode was removed from syndication. It was finally brought back in 2002 with the controversial flag burning scene intact.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. 200 and 201, South Park. To celebrate the show's 200th episode in 2010, writer Trey Parker decided to go all in and write a storyline about the show's past controversies.
You just had to push it, didn't you, Stan? You just had to make fun of Tom Cruise again!
This included Comedy Central's refusal to depict the Islamic prophet Muhammad after cartoons in European newspapers led to threats and attacks. After a threatening warning from radical organization Revolution Muslim, Comedy Central caved and censored references to Muhammad and even an anti-censorship speech in the episode 201.
That's right, friends. All you need to do is instill fear and be willing to hurt people, and you can get whatever you want. The only true power is violence.
This decision was met with widespread criticism. Nonetheless, both 200 and 201 were pulled from circulation and aren't available on the official website or streaming services. Has your favorite TV show ever had an episode pulled from circulation? Let us know in the comments below.
Well done, honey! She's beautiful!
Yeah, it was a dodo! Don't know what all the fuss is about.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.